All right. So this is an extra little podcast. It's going to be short and sweet. But basically, we're gonna talk about Kody and our sound engineer who had joined us. Did a great job, and then now I've got to figure out how to do the sound. But we want to dedicate this version of the podcast to Kody. Kody was is my half brother, and he passed away in April. He passed away from an overdose. Long story short, very troubled childhood. Him and my brothers. I did not know him growing up. I did not know him until I knew of him when I was going away to college. I got to know him after the death of our father, who I did not want anything to do with. I got to love him. I got to grow to love him, and that's why I didn't want to know him, because I didn't want to be connected to the family anymore. And I did not realize how lonely he was, and I did not realize how much pain he was in. I tried to be a big brother and help him as we got to know each other this past year. And unknown to me, he was using heroin, and he took a batch that was laced with fentanyl and unfortunately overdosed in late April. And my other brother, whom he was living with, found him early next morning, dead. So, Kody, this podcast is for you. I want you to know how much we love you, how much I miss you, and that you are on our minds all the time. So, you are not alone, and people do love you. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a lot harder without you, Kody, and trying to figure out how to get all the sounds up and running. We're making it, but unfortunately, I think that we have been able to use some of the things that you've taught us to keep some of the quality of the sound, but more importantly, just we're still here and we're still doing it. He loved doing this show and working with us to record this. This was one of his passions, one of his big interests. So he was super excited, and when we set up and he came over for the first or second time, he didn't care. He loved his whole big ass old PC like tower over to my house, and he set it up right here in our little studio, but out of sight, which was in the corner of the closet, right next to our camera. I think he was maybe sitting on like a box or something the first day.
Yeah, and he was uncomfortable, but he didn't care.
Yeah,
and come to find out, he was kind of lost. He was only 26, but he had no idea who he was. He had no idea what to do with his life. He told me he didn't have a family. He never had a family that he felt connected to. So when we found each other, it was important to try to become a family. And introducing him to my wife and kids, and he became a part of our family very quickly. But apparently, and I didn't know how much the show meant to him, he was excited to do the show and to build it and to grow it and to help and participate with us. And so, yeah, he lugged all that fucking equipment over.
I told him, it's like, dude, that's a big old computer. Like, we figure something else out, or figure how can we make this better? No, it's fine, it's great, it's easy.
Right.
It's like, all right, cool.
He built that computer, by the way.
Yeah.
That whole thing, the server, everything. He built it from scratch and made it into what he had.
Yeah.
And that's why he wanted to use it, which really helped with the sound.
Makes sense, yeah.
And then basically, to build off what you said, I was like, yeah, let's get you something that's more manageable, something that is a little bit easier. I'll go get you something. No. He's like, if you're gonna spend that much money, it's shit. I'll just make it. Just give me something simple and I'll make it. And unfortunately, he passed away before that could, be realized. Now I don't know what the fuck to do.
Well,
so we're gonna figure it out.
I mean, like literally, we've spent almost as many hours sound checking, tapping our microphones,
right?
Tapping Cody's mic.
I still can't figure out how to get the headphones to work.
Every day, every show before we record, we're here tapping the microphones.
Yeah.
Ray's hitting keyboards over there. But when he came in here, it was zap on.
I know.
Plug and play. You guys are set up. We're like, we're ready. We're rolling. Yep, ready. Recording. Oh wow. All right. Well, those shows were a lot simpler setting up and getting on. That was huge.
Yeah. We thought we found our guy.
Yeah.
But we talked about it, and we didn't want to dedicate a podcast that somebody else was interviewing on, or which we're talking about vitamins and minerals or activity or health, because it wouldn't be right to connect his death and his dedication to someone else's interview, nor would it be right to do that to one of our PSAs, But so we felt it was far more dignified, deserved, and and earned to give him his own little spotlight here and talk about him, and just let him know, you're loved and you're gravely missed. Greatly missed. It hurt really bad. It hurt really bad to see you go, and I wasn't mad when I lost my father. I didn't really let it bother me too much, because the guy was never really there for me anyway. Didn't fight for me as a kid. Didn't try to get to know me. So when he passed away, it was just like, he was a stranger anyway. Kody, I got to know him, and we shared things, and he was my brother, but he's far younger than me. And so I didn't want that cycle, where I see it in my other brothers, that cycle of life repeating itself, where the childhood abuse and neglect and repeating itself. And they can't get out of that cycle. They can't pick themselves up and get out of it. And, people are always like, how did you get past that shit? Because in reality, Joe, I should be dead. I should be in a gang. I should be in jail. I shouldn't even really be here, I got away from it because I got away from my family. As bad as that sounds awful, and I feel guilty for saying that. And so when I got to know him and grow and then love him, I love him, it hurt like a motherfucker. And so this is for you. This is for you, Kody. We love you and we miss you. I think that will be, that's it.